In this video, we're going to look at amortizing a bond discount. 10-year issues bonds, $180,000. That's the stated or the face amount. Bonds annual contract rate. That's the stated contract, stated rate, 8%. And interest is paid semi-annually on June 30th and December 31st. Bonds mature in 3 years. The annual market rate at the date of issuance is 10%. So right now you're competing. Their 8% bond is basically competing against 10% bonds. Bonds issued now are selling at 10%. So to make it marketable, they need to discount the bond. So this bond will be sold at a discount. What is a discount on this bond? It says that the bonds are sold for $170,862. Now, you could end up in a class where you have to calculate the $178.62, and this class will give it to you. The difference between the face amount, the stated rate, stated amount, the face amount, and what they received for cash when they sold the bond, the difference is the discount. So they sold it for less than the stated amount. It's a discount. And the difference between 180 and 178.62 is 91.38. So this bond was sold at a 91.38 discount. The carrying value is 178.62. So that number right there. And then again, the difference between 180 and 178.6 is the discount. And that's the date of issuance. 1/1. Now every 6 months they're going to be paying interest. Every 6 months they're going to be paying interest. We're asked to prepare an amortization table if they use the straight line method. Well, I thought I was highlighting. Straight line method. So let's make sure we've answered everything before we get to number 3. What is the amount of discount? 91.38. And then also there, if you want to look at that formula there. How much total bond interest expense will be recognized over the life of the bond? I did not do that one yet. Let's do that. It is, we always base interest on the stated amount, not the discount, not the carrying value. So 180 times 8%. That's 1 year's interest, and they mature in 3 years. So pull out the calculator. 180,000 times 0.08 is 7,200 times 3 is said that wrong. I think I just my fingers are in the habit of doing every 6 months when I'm looking at this. 14,400. 180 times 0.08 is 14,400 times 3 is 42,300 or 43,200. And that's the 3. Or right there. So now that we've taken care of A and B for sure, we need to complete filling out the amortization table. All right, so it says straight line, or the problem says it's straight line. So 91.38. We're going to divide this by one number. And that's going to give us the amount that we're going to amortize a discount every 6 months for 3 years. Well, if it's a 3-year bond and we pay interest twice a year, that's a times symbol. That means we're going to pay interest 6 times. If you think about it, right? Twice a year times 3 is 6. So we pay interest 6 times. That means we amortize the 91.38 6 times. And when we divide 91.38 by 6, we get 1523. So every 6 months, we're going to amortize the bond. It's going to be 1523. Very consistent. All right. Every 6 months. That's how we're going to do it, right? So line 1. 9138 minus 1523. The one we got there is 7615. All right, so then this number is going to get smaller over time, because when we're all done at the end of 6 periods, we want a 0. This number is going to get bigger over time, because we're going to start out with what we paid, or the carrying value, and we're going to end up with the face amount. So this column is decreasing, this column is increasing. So you'll take the 178.62 and add 1523 to get 172.385. Pause the video right now, pull out your calculator and make sure you got that right. So take 170.862 plus 1523 and I'll give you 172.385 on your calculator. Same thing here, right? The discount, the unamortized discount before December 31st, 2016 was 76.15. Minus 1523 is 60.92. And this one's going up, if you remember just from a second ago. So 172.385 plus 1523 is 173.98. And so on and so on until you get to 0, and so on and so on until you get to 180. Let's do the journal entries, okay? Now, when you have a discount, your bond interest is higher. Your bond interest expense is higher than what you're actually paying out in cash. So every 6 months, the stated rate's 8%, right? You divide that by 2 for like every 6 months, you get 4%. So times 0.04. This is why I normally do it. And that's why earlier I just went straight there and I was like, well, that number's not right. It's like half. And I was like, oh, out of habit, I did my 6 months interest. So I just take the rate and divide by 2. And that gives me $7,200 in interest for 6 months. So we're either going to pay it then or just say it's interest payable $7,200. We're going to debit the discount $1,523. And we're going to credit the discount, I'm sorry, $1,523, and we're going to debit interest expense $72.30. 72. Oh my goodness, $87.23. Now, when I work these, I know bond interest expense for a discount is higher than the cash or the payable. So I always take the straight line disc amortization amount, $1,523 in this case, and what I'm paying out every 6 months according to the stated rate and the contract rate, and I get $87.23. So I'll write down bond interest expense. I'll debit it for $87.23. The discount's $15.23, and the cash that we're paying out to the bond customers. I don't know about you, but if you had a bond or bonds and it paid a significant amount of cash, like if you were retired, you would know the day you're supposed to get it, and you'd be waiting on that money. You know, if you needed it, right, to live off of. So anyway, cash, $7,200, and that's how I do that one. I said the first 2 periods, right? Interestingly enough, it's the same entry because this is a straight line. If this was the effective interest method, it'd be a little different, but because the discounts being amortized on a straight line, is the journal entries are the same. So if you got 1 right, then 2 will be the same for the same reasons. All right. There's something else I needed to cover. I'm trying to recall it. Yeah, I guess that was it. I guess I did everything. If you have any questions, email me. All right, because it's important that you remember how to do this. I think it is very important that you understand how to do this entire handout for your homework and for your exam. And if you need me, email me.